Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Diamond Girls Rock podcast. And once again, we have a returning guest, one of the world's influencers. She's a barber. She owns her own barber shop located in Texas. Also, she's bringing a bar inside of her barber shop. And we would like to welcome today Miss Amber Marie. Welcome, Amber.
Hi, thank you for having me back. I'm excited.
I'm excited also. Thank you for accepting the invitation to come back. Amber, would you tell the audience a little bit about yourself, your background?
Absolutely. My name is Amber Marie. I've been in the barbering slash Cosmo industry for about 14 years now. I am a former national educator. I worked for Johnny B. there for, about 4 to 5 years. I opened my own location about a year ago. Well, a little over a year ago. I also have a show that I do. We're going on our fourth show this next coming year, so I'm excited.
Okay. How long have you been in the industry? Tell our audience how long you've been in the industry.
I've been this for 14 years, and I have been a barber for about 5 years at this point. Absolutely love the industry I am and I also am a licensed instructor as well. So I've been doing that for about 4 years as well.
Okay. So, how could one become a licensed barber? Tell them the life of a woman barber. You know, when we think of the barber shop, we always think about men. So, give them, our audience, the life of a female barber.
Honestly, as a female barber, so to get certified, it depends on the state. For example, like here, it's 1,000 hours, and then you go, you take your sanitation, you take your state test, and then you become a barber. But I won't lie, if anybody is interested in ever going into my field, it's more than just the school. So school teaches you how to get your license. The barbershop itself teaches you how to survive the industry. Because it's cutthroat, especially being a female in a man's world. Pat made it on point. Most people think of a man when they think of a barber, and so I've been doing this for 14 years. I kind of came in it when women were kind of coming up in the world. So I was noticed almost immediately by companies, by other people, because it was so rare to see women in my field, especially a woman who knew what they were doing, that it helped me get noticed, if that makes any sense.
Yes.
But that was difficult because I had to put myself, I had to go to competitions, and I didn't sit in the back of a competition. I sat right in the front. You were going to notice me. And, a lot of, I'm not saying that every male in the industry, but they tend to, I don't want to say degrade, because that's not the right word. It would be more of like pushing women back. They don't put them in the light the way they should. So
Mhm.
I had to fight to get to where I was at.
Okay. So, women, that's a good thing. It seems like we're always fighting, working harder when it's in a male world, when it's male dominant world,
Right.
like being a barber. So, but opening a shop, you first became a barber, then you
Yeah.
became a licensed instructor, and then open a shop. Tell us about opening your own shop, having your own shop there in Texas.
I it was a dream of mine for many years. I got lucky. I got blessed throughout my career, and I had some very good mentors throughout my career. One of which I was actually I partnered up with somebody in San Antonio area, and I opened up a shop with him about in 2017. And so that was were the moments that I realized, like, okay, location is key. Having stoplights in front of your location is a big plus for you, because if you think about it, you have to stop, and when people stop, you look around. You know what I'm saying? And if you look around and you're inviting, they're going to notice you. So when I started my own location, I thought of those things. I thought of stoplights. I thought of busy areas. Is it the demographic that I want? I like to do more traditional cuts. I like to do business cuts. So if I go to to the south side or the west side of town, I'm probably going to get a lot of fades and cuts and young kids. You know what I mean? We do get those as well, but we do get a lot of like the, 3 in the sides and a nice scissor trim on top. You know what I'm saying? Just getting your location to get the demographic that you want is super important as far as your market goes. Another thing, I do guerrilla marketing. So if you know anything about me and you follow me on social media, I have more than one platform. You can follow me on Facebook, which is Amber Marie Aguilera, or you can follow me on Instagram, which is Amber Marie 1340. My Bat Cave literally has Boston City from one end to the other. So it's very noticeable, needless to say. And I did that intentionally because I'm not from the Valley. This is where I live now. I live in Harlingen, which is about 30 minutes away from South Padre. And I said, you know what? I'm going to get here. I'm going to open up my business and I have to make it big and I have to stand out. So I do.
Yes, you do. So tell us the Bat Cave. Now, a woman in love with Batman. Where did your love for Batman come from? Did it start as a kid?
Yes, I wore this. These are actually our Bat Cave shirts.
Oh yes, Bat Cave.
Bat Cave. Wait, I got to show you my pants.
Oh, you have the leggings also.
My Bat Cave outfit.
Talk about real marketing. You're
yes. So, and you know what's funny is that's exactly why I wear this outfit. When I go to events or anything like that. So of course a Bat Cave. So going back to why I don't know why I like Batman. I'll be honest with you. I have no idea why I like him.
Did it start as a child?
Yeah, I was gonna say since I can remember, I've always just loved Batman, and so when I got of age, one of the first things I did was get a tattoo. Of course, right? That's
right.
Kids nowadays. So I got this tattoo and I, ever since then, I just started collecting Batman stuff. And I got this tattoo, gosh, forever ago. So when I got this, I started collecting Batman stuff. And then just throughout my years, people associated me with Batman because I wore Batman all the time. I had a Batman tattoo. And from there, it just kind of trickled on. And somebody one day was like, when you open up your location, you should call it, and I think they said the Batarang at first. And I was like, oh, that's a good idea. I was like, that's a good idea. And then from that moment, it went from the Batarang to the Bat Cave. And when somebody said the Bat Cave, I was like, oh, stop right there. That's it. That's the one.
That's it.
And it stuck. So it stuck. So I'm excited. It was a good choice.
Okay. Well, not too long ago, this year, back in February, I think last month, you had a hair show. Tell us a little bit about that show, please.
Oh, I lost my mind. No, I'm just kidding. It was such, I've been doing hair shows for, like I said, we'll be going on my 4th show, this next one. But I always took about a year off to go and network because, when you do events, any events, this is good advice for anybody who does any event. It's all about networking. You can have events all day, but if nobody knows what you're bringing to the table or why they're putting themselves in there, they might not even go to your show or whatever it is. So I usually took about a year off of networking. This last show, well, I would have had it around 2021, but unfortunately with
COVID,
right,
yes,
business, it kind of set me back. So this last one, I had to do a lot of social media, which was definitely new to me. Well, I mean, I know what social media is, but targeting the right demographic for your events, it's more difficult if you can't do, walking or going face to face. You know what I mean? So I got blessed. I had such great support, a lot of out-of-state support, to be honest with you. I had people from
I saw a young lady from Chicago with her style. Yes.
I had about 10 to 15 people from Chicago in general, which for me. Yeah, I was very impressed, but I won't lie, a lot of the Texas love wasn't there. But I don't want to put that on Texas because we ended up having horrible weather like the Thursday beforehand. They actually went down. So they actually told me, they were like, yeah, oh my God. I had a heart attack when they wanted to shut my show down because I had been working on it for about a year. After we ended up doing our podcast, I think I started up with it almost immediately right after. I think it was about a month after our podcast that I started doing the promotion for it. So I had been doing that for a year. For them to tell me that I wasn't able to do the the show there. I was like, not happening. No, not today.
We're going to do this.
This world, I said, you know what? We're going to get on the phone with TxDOT. So I got on the phone with TxDOT, and I got their approval saying that the roads were going to be safe Saturday and Sunday, which was what my event was going to be. So I was like, I got on the phone with the Archdiocese because it was a.
You were serious.
I was serious about it. I swear on my life what happened. So I got it approved. They were like, okay, we're going to open up the venue. We're going to get this approved. Trial and tribulation, girls. Trial and tribulation. My catering didn't show up. I had didn't show up. I was livid. I had about 100 people that couldn't show up. It was horrible. But you know what? It was such a success. Through all those trials and tribulations and all my moments
all the setbacks,
all my come to Jesus moments where I would just be crying in the bathroom, it was a blessing from God. It truly was. It was a phenomenal event. Nobody knew what was going on. Nobody knew how much went wrong. And everybody loved it. All the vendors made money. We had about 700 people at the event. So if anybody takes anything from this, keep striving. Don't let what might be bad set you back, because it could be good in the end.
See, that's what makes you a diamond. And that's what makes women diamonds. Because through it all, we dust ourselves off and we still shine.
Amen.
Through it all. And so tell us about some of those competitions that you had there.
It was fun. So we had a fantasy hair and makeup competition, and actually we ended up only having one competitor. So she ended up being showcased instead. So, which was phenomenal. I got blessed with the ability of being in Barber Evo, which is a huge barber magazine. It's kind of like the ESPN of barbering. So obviously ESPN, you know how important that is. So it was a great accomplishment for me and my show, which also made it international because it's based out of London. So now I would be considered an international showcase or an international hair show.
So you went to another level.
I leveled up. Woo! Sponsorships here. So I went to another level, and I had a fast fade competition. I had a student competition. I had a fade and beard competition and a freestyle design competition. These barbers nowadays, though, Pat, oh my Lord, such talent. When I was in school, I could not do what these barbers can do now. So, I mean, for me, it's amazing to see these people get out of their shell and go and compete. And then I get blessed to be able to give them a trophy at the end of their events. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
It's just a phenomenal thing to if you have any hair shows local to y'all, definitely go and support. It's very important for the community, especially barbing or Cosmo. We all kind of go hand in hand.
Right.
To go and support your local community. You know, you're in New York, correct?
I'm in Michigan, Detroit.
Michigan. I'm so sorry, Michigan. Michigan. Oh, Michigan. You know, I actually don't know if hair shows in Michigan.
Normally it's everyone flies to Atlanta and to Chicago for hair shows here.
So Atlanta.
But we do have hair shows. Ooh. We have a lot of outstanding hairstylists here in the Detroit metropolitan area.
Have you ever been to the Atlanta hair show?
Yes, once.
Oh my gosh. So that is a sight to see. That is a sight to see. If anybody has a chance to go to it, it's what is it? I'm not going to say
Bonner Brothers.
There you go, Bonham Brothers or something like that.
Yes.
Phenomenal. So that's kind of what I want. It's a long time from there, but that's kind of what I envisioned my hair show to be like. But I mean, gosh, you've been to one, so you know how intense it can be.
Yes, yes. Well, I was in the audience. You were behind the scenes, so yeah. That's another thing. Yeah. So now you said there was a beard competition.
Yes. So
now, what is this beard? The person with the longest beard, the neatest beard? What? Tell me about this beard competition, because everybody is wearing a beard. You know, all the men looking sexy in their beard. They have the beard gang now.
They do.
Tell me about it.
Okay, so I'm actually, you know what, this is a good conversation. I'm actually competing in a local show in Harlingen in June, and I'll be doing the beard and fade competition myself. So okay. haven't competed in 2 years. So I'm specifically doing it, no joke, to inspire. I have a barber personally, and she's so talented, but she's very introverted, but she wants to be an extrovert. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
my goal is to inspire her to get out of her comfort zone so that she can accomplish her goals like I did. So I'm going to be competing in this. And I will tell you, as a judge myself, I did a hair competition this past weekend and I was a judge. What I
Mhm.
look for is a uniform. I look for a uniform part, a nice edge up, the way it fades into the beard, and just, do they have a full beard? If they don't have a full beard, how were you able to fit it in? You can be real creative with beards nowadays.
Oh,
So
wow.
it depends. They have local beard competitions where it's like the guy will like dress up his beard into like little decorative stuff. I've seen people do like little ornaments on the beards and stuff like that. So it really depends
Wow.
on the person. Yeah, very creative nowadays. Yes, very
So
creative.
the beard is just creative, just like the hairstyle with all the creative hairstyles. I get it now.
Or all that good stuff. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing. So we're here, Diamond Girls, our podcast focuses on women, how they begun, what inspires them, what keeps them going, their passion, their love. So what inspires you, Amber? Daily, what gets you up and motivated that you want to be your own boss? You want to continue doing hair and helping people, but stay balanced because you are married. And may I
Yeah.
say, a newlywed.
I am
Yes.
going on.
So what inspires you?
My family inspires me, but I would say my family inspires me, but what drives me to doing stuff is, I actually have a good friend of mine and she lives in London and her name is Lisi Fabio and she is just a phenomenal person. I've seen her. When I got to meet her, she was already, in the limelight. She was already working for companies and, she was already doing her thing. She actually won a barber battle on a Cedric the Entertainer show many years ago. And
Okay.
so when I look at things and I say, you know what, that inspires me. I want to do that. That gives me drive. I look at other people's accomplishments and I don't use them as competition. I don't use them as, I could do
You
better
use
than
them
that.
for success.
I use them for success. And, and she's and the reason I speak about Lisi is because she's one of those people that she's so amazing and she's really been through a lot of trial and tribulation, more than people even understand. And I relate to her. I did not have it easy growing up and I did not have it easy doing what I do now. And if you think for a second that I don't sit there and contemplate my decisions, you're crazy. As successful as I am, I'm never going to be successful the way that I want to be successful. And so when I look
Mhm.
at other people's successes and I say, you know what, they did it, I can do it too. It drives me. It
Right.
makes me want to do it. And when I commit to something, when I tell you, like, look, like what I told you today, I'm going to have a bar in my location. Next time in a year from now, when we do our next one, it's going to be here. You know what I mean? And that's what it
Right.
is. I say something, it might take me a little bit, but I speak it into existence. So it's all about manifestation. It's all about making it happen.
And I agree. It's all about manifestation. I believe in manifestation myself. I believe in speaking things into existence. Now, you said you had a tough background. Tell our audience a little bit about your background, just a little bit, because there may be someone listening that you can inspire today.
Pat mentioned that I'm a newlywed. That's one of the struggles that I had. I had children very young. I was 18 when I first got pregnant, and I basically had her. I mean, I was 19 when I had her, and then I had a little bit of a break, and I had my son, but that was very hard for me. I didn't have the best upbringing. My mom didn't come from money. I didn't have the best relationship with my mother. To be honest with you, I not to get too personal, but I wasn't the best treated child either. My mom constantly put me in mental situations and stuff like that. So for me to be able to conquer my demons the way I did was extremely hard, and it took a lot of understanding myself to get to the level that I am. I am the first person to tell you that I was wrong. If I said something that was inappropriate, I will immediately come to you and apologize. And being self-aware has a lot to do with growth. You need to be aware that you're not going to always know it all. You need to be open-minded to having people criticize you. You need to be open-minded to having things not go your way, but that doesn't mean that they were wrong. It just means that you invested your success differently. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's a perception, and I didn't have guidance on that. I had to teach myself how to perceive things in a positive manner versus seeing things half full or half empty, if that makes sense.
You had to change your thinking.
I had
You had to change the way you saw things, but most of all, you had to change your thinking. And that's key. That is so important in life. That is so important to success. You have to change the way you think. And sometimes the way you feel, you have to build yourself up and encourage yourself. So I commend you on a job well done. I just like to encourage other women that may be listening today that what you are not, they are not alone.
no.
It may be some woman that have a background similar to yours or mine, but they are not alone. If we succeeded, they can do it as well with a little bit of self, like you said, a little bit of self encouragement and encouragement for others.
Be
I
your
believe support.
biggest support, be your biggest support system. I don't know who can relate to this, but I'm also a cancer survivor. So I survived cancer. I don't even like to talk about it really because I feel like I didn't even have cancer. I got it leaked out. I had cervical cancer. They took a little laser and they just leaked that out. But the fact of the matter is I was a cancer survivor. It is something that could have been very devastating if I didn't catch it, early on. And I've seen within COVID and all these things that have happened. I've
Yeah.
seen that a lot struggle with undergoing issues, as far as like hormones and cancer or just whatever it is. And women tend to be a lot more emotional. And
Yes.
so when you're going through something that that tragic, it's harder to control your emotions. And have you seen that new movie Turning Red? Or it's a new Disney movie.
I saw it today. Yes. With my children in class. Yes.
I love it. I love the analogy about, so I tell people, I'm like, my panda was constantly coming out of me because I was so emotional. My panda was always popping out. And at
Mhm.
fall, at 13, she sits there and she says, you know what? Calm, zen. That's what you have to do. You have to sit there and you have to
Yes.
be calm.
You have to be calm. You must remain calm in all situations. Also, you have to have the peaceful environment. Sometimes you have to just find your peace in the middle of a storm. You
Right.
have to have that peace. Also, what I wanted to ask you, how is the new marriage? Look,
It's fantastic. I love my husband. So we got married and we had a puppy.
you got married and had a
And
puppy.
a puppy. We have little Sparky. We have a little dog. That's my little baby. And actually, we just had kittens. We just we just had kittens like 2 days ago. So it's going fantastic. The
Kittens.
kittens, yeah,
Oh
kittens.
my goodness. So you got a cat and a dog.
I do. Yeah, I
Okay.
how my husband feels about that because that was all me. But it's going fantastic. One thing I can say about marriage, I've been divorced before. I'm 33 years old, so let's be realistic. This isn't my first rodeo.
Mhm.
But I will say, that's one thing that I struggled with as a growing adult is love and loss. Love and loss. And I was so in love so many times that oh, he broke my heart, but I really wasn't in love at all. I really wasn't in love. And
Right.
the only thing I can give people, it'll happen. It'll happen. When you found your person, when you find him. So don't lose faith. It'll happen.
It will happen. It just be patient. It will happen. So we want to also, you have an upcoming show. Tell us about the upcoming show, where it's going to be held at, how people can contact you if they want to get involved, if there are any Barbaras, how they can participate. Come on, give us the spiel.
So you're actually the first person I'm giving the spill to, so I'm excited. So it's going to be completely different than it normally is. So my organization is called Talent Beyond the Chair. You can follow it on Facebook and Instagram. I usually focused on specifically the barbering aspect of it, But throughout my year and networking and seeing where the respect would come from and seeing who I truly target and inspire, I started focusing on the female part of it. I'm a dual licensed professional, but I haven't been a cosmetologist in years. I do cosmetology in my shop. I do color here and there, but I mean, as far as me getting out there and networking, it's been a long time. So I want to bring that back. I want to bring my what do you call it? My roots back to reality, you know?
Okay.
And I'm obviously a Comic-Con freak. So it's going to be Fashion Con. It is Talent Beyond the Chair Fashion Con. And we are incorporating the Comic-Con theme to the show. So we're going to have glam makeup. We're going to have fantasy hair and makeup. We're going to have a cosplay. We're going to have 2 barber battles. The 2 barber battles are going to be professional and unprofessional. So when I say unprofessional, that means anybody without a license is allowed to compete. Anybody with a license competes in the professional. Anybody without a license competes in the non-professional.
Okay.
The payout will be 5,000 to 6. I mean, sorry, 5. Woo, woo. Scared me.
Whoa! I was getting ready to say I'm coming to compete in the unprofessional.
Payout will be 1,000 to 500. Let's clear that one up.
1,000 to 500. Okay.
Yes. So I'm excited about it. 1,000 to 500, and we'll have about 30 people per category. I am bringing in, if you are in the barbering world and you're from Chicago area, to be honest with you, if you're in the barbering world, you probably know who he is. He's Nas the Barber, and he owns a hair show in Chicago, and I just absolutely love him to death. His integrity is there, and you know what? He came from Chicago to support me, so I want to make sure that I give him the same love and the same respect. So he's going to be organizing my barber battles so that we can have some really good, clean barber battles. You know what I mean? And it's going to be a free for all. Whatever you're good at, you're going to be able to come in and do it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm excited about that. We're going to have a fashion show with the runway as well. So it's going to be a very eventful event. So I'm excited.
Are there going to be local designers that's doing the fashion show or?
Actually, so I have New York Fashion Week that's interested in my show. So
wow.
Yeah, so it's that. Yeah, I'm gonna cry. It was a big that was a big accomplishment. I got lucky this past year through networking. I met a gentleman who just truly saved my life. You know, and this is another thing too. When you feel overwhelmed, don't give up. Search. There's somebody out there that can help you figure out what you're overwhelmed. So what I did was I ended up meeting a gentleman who actually runs a lot of the Comic-Cons in the Southwest Texas area. And he introduced me to some networking, and he was the one who helped me get the New York Fashion Week. So.
Oh, well, fantastic.
Thank you.
Great. Oh, I love it. So you said somebody would be there doing makeup. You know, I love makeup.
Yes. I actually will have a workshop as well. So one thing about being makeup artist is that not every place requires, you don't necessarily have to have a cosmetology license to be a makeup artist. So we have a group of girls who actually went to my show this last year who are willing to do a workshop for next year's show that can help anybody who is interested in becoming a makeup artist and making some extra income. You'd be able to do that with the workshop that we'll be providing. So, and all that information will be posted up. I'll have flyers made. So just go ahead and follow my Instagram is Amber Marie 1340, and my Facebook is Amber Marie or Amber Marie Aguilera. So if you just follow those platforms, you'll be able to see any updated information that I'll be coming forward with within the next year. We do not have a date yet. So I don't have a date to tell you yet, but it will be in San Antonio. So that's for sure. My San Antonio.
San Antonio is beautiful.
Beautiful.
San Antonio is beautiful. So you heard it, ladies. You heard it first here on the Diamond Girls Rock podcast. There will be a show next year in San Antonio. If you never visited San Antonio, you are missing out on a real treat. So we want everyone to go and follow Amber Marie. Talent and Beyond, you said?
Talent Beyond the Chair.
Talent and Beyond the Chair. Talent and Beyond the Chair. And Amber Marie 1340 on Instagram.
Yes.
Amber Marie 1340 on Instagram and on Facebook. It is
You can use that same handle and it'll pop up my Facebook.
The same handle, and it will pop up on her Facebook. One thing, we want to congratulate you again, Amber, on a very successful show this year. This was your first show that you gave?
This is my third show that I gave.
Your third show.
Fun to bring in as many people as I did. This is my most successful show.
Well, we want to congratulate you, and we wishing you the best of luck on the next, that you would double the number of attendees. Also, one last question. How would you tell a business owner, how did you make it through COVID with the changes we've seen? Decrease in customers, increase in prices of gas and food. How did you keep your doors open during this pandemic?
Consistency for one, consistency. So I've always charged more than the regular person. I've always been a higher end shop, specifically because I charge my worth. So I charge what I know I'm worth charging for. I also will suggest following other shops around you, see what they're kind of going with, because you do want to adapt to today's times. I do appointments only, period, the end. I do appointments only. We do not have a wait room. So we don't have to worry about anybody having an enormous amount of people sitting next to them. It's literally like the people who have an appointment, and that's it. Another thing that I do, and it's not required, but I always check the temperatures regardless. Make sure that your sanitation is on point. You should always have a new cape. You should always be wiping down your chairs. And as crazy as it seems, like time is money, I get that, but I can clean my entire station in less than 3 minutes. So there should be no reason why somebody can't.
Because it became a routine, a habit.
Exactly. Like I said, I'm a licensed instructor. So these are things that I've already come to agreement with in my head, but it helps with my clientele. My clientele feels comfortable coming in here because they see me doing all this stuff. So all that stuff matters. Your clients do see that. So.
Also, now you take appointments only in your barber shop. How many barbers do you have working for you? Two.
By choice.
So by choice. Do those barbers appointments only, or do they accept walk-ins?
So, well, if they're newer, like for example, we had a lady come in from Chicago. She didn't have any clientele, and we do get walk-ins. So we'll allow the walk-ins, but when they walk in, we explain to them like we're an only shop. Next time, here you go. We'll set them up with our Booksy, because we use Booksy, and anybody who works for me uses my Booksy. They don't get to have their own Booksy. They use my shop's Booksy. It's beneficial. There's a reason I do that, because my shop already has rapport on Booksy. So you're going to get booked immediately. I'm already booked. I'm fully booked. So anybody who's underneath me gets booked right after me. You know what I'm saying? So It's beneficial to have a secure booking for your entire shop, not to have their own booking. One of the things too, everybody should be on the same page with pricing. Nobody should be underselling anybody else. As far as walk-ins are concerned, I only allow walk-ins if my clientele, if my barbers want to take walk-ins. If they don't, then we do appointments only. Period, the end.
Period, the end. So the bar is coming to the barber shop.
Yes.
That is going to create a new atmosphere. So tell us about the bar. What do you see?
Okay.
What is your vision? Just give us a little sneak peek today.
So the bar is, so when I opened up my shop, I personally cater to children. So I actually cater to autistic children at that. There's a barber out there for everybody, and I'm that barber out there for kids. I have a lot of patience. I can handle a lot of stuff, but I can't say that for every barber. There's a reason why all these kids come to me, because not a lot of barbers want to take kids. So I have to understand that if I want to keep a staff and I want to keep them happy, I can't be pushing clientele on them that they don't want to take. So I started getting a lot more male demographic, and I realized that the 2 and 2, they're great together, but they can also coincide, because needless to say, or they can also butt heads is what I meant. Needless to say, sometimes when they're walking in, we got Cocomelon at the top of our lungs, and we got some screaming babies, So sometimes men can.
So you're going to separate the two. Kids one side, adults the other, and the adults can have the bar.
It's going to be called,
and the kids can have Cocomelon and whatever else. Disney, Batman, Spider-Man. Yeah.
You know, so actually the room that we're sitting in, that's why it kind of has some things going on with the wall. We're working on getting it fixed up. It's going to be called Alfred's Tavern. So all my spinoffs are all Batman related. So it's going to be called Alfred's Tavern. And when you walk into my shop, you'll be able to see it all opened up. And in the back, we're going to have a bar. It's just going to be, you know, wine, beer, and coffee. And then right around here, we're going to put a station in so that they can have their own personal setting so that it'll be a better environment for our male demographic. Because like I said, as a business owner, you have to adapt. You have to start working into today's age. And men like spawness, you know, they're just like women.
Yeah.
They're just as we are. So
Now, the last question, and I thank you for your time this afternoon. The last question, support. Now, how important is supporting in the community? How important is that community involvement with growing your business and supporting others that is in your business, other barbers? Like you said, the barber from Chicago, you support him. You fly there, he fly down there. So how important is the networking and the partnering? How you got started, what our listeners don't know, you partner with somebody, and somebody may be out there looking, watching, or listening that want to open a business, but do not know it's okay to partner and then branch off.
but be careful who you partner with. I will say that much. You know, you want to make sure that you know that person that you're partnering with, because I got blessed. Like I said, I got blessed. You know, I knew what I was working with. I knew what I was doing. But I have seen things go south with certain partners not, you know, taking advantage. So just be careful who you're partnering with. Make sure that you have the right partner. But it was a great stepping stone. Without my partner, I wouldn't have known what to look for in my own location. So partnering with somebody is a great way to step forward and accomplish your goal. As somebody who basically, I support everybody. I support everybody. And even if they don't think I support them, I'm definitely a cheerleader of them in some way, shape, or form. You know, I had a color come in the other day. They wanted me to do their color. I was not comfortable doing their colors, but I knew somebody who could. So I supported that person's business and I sent that person somewhere else. And recently
Right.
they color and they came back to me and said, thank you so much, because I kept the integrity of that service by giving them somebody who knew how to do that. You know what I'm saying? So
And
ultimately,
you just said the key word, integrity. You couldn't do the color, so you sent it to someone that knows how to do color.
and
So
I
sharing
that
also and having integrity in business is key.
it's key, you know, again, fades too. You know, there's a lot of people that aren't familiar with certain fades. It's okay. You don't have to be familiar with it. But if you know somebody who is, it's better than having your name walk out and be like, oh, you know what? Don't go back to the Bat Cave because they messed me up. You don't want those kind of things. So, you know, I think about it when you walk through Walmart and you go and you look at people's hair, because I look at people's hair all the time in Walmart. I mean, you got some crazy stuff going on. Oh, you know, I want to be that person that says, hey, where did you get your haircut? Let me have your card. Not, ooh, let me give you my card. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
I think about those things when I think about situations that come to me. So supporting other businesses as far as that's concerned, but also supporting your locals. Like, for example, my daughter's an upcoming artist. So I started giving her the opportunity of being her own vendor. So I actually go in there and I support my daughter. So support goes more than one way. I support my daughter's business. She just turned 13 a week ago. So I support my daughter's business by setting her art up at different Comic-Con conventions so that she can make her own money and make her own networking. And that's the best way to do it. Go to these events, go to local community. There's craft shows all the time around here. You know, go to these events. If you do barbering, that's a great way to get your clientele, you know, especially if you want a family. So think outside the box. It doesn't always have to be barbering to get the support that you need.
Right. Well, Amber, I thank you once again for your time this afternoon. I thank you once again for coming on our Diamond Girls Rock podcast. Who better to have than my homegirl from Texas that I didn't get a chance to come and see this year.
That's okay. There's always next year. And if not next year, there's always the year after that.
Right. Look, I'm taking a vacation this year, so I'll be down there. Seem like COVID is ending so we can get out and do a few things. To those listeners, I want to thank you once again for listening to the Diamond Girl podcast. We want to thank our guest, Amber Marie. Amber, with closing, tell them how they can reach you.
You can always reach me on my Instagram, Amber Marie 1340, or you can reach me on my Facebook, Amber Marie Aguilera, or if you put my Instagram handle, it'll also pop up that way.
All right. Once again, this is Pat Pearson, your host on the Diamond Girls Rock podcast, and we thank you for joining us. Until next week, bye-bye.
Bye, Pat.
Bye.